sent me a spray also if it's too sticky, you can use the spray to make it more manageable. So there should be a baby axolotl buried in here. Yup. Here he is, or she. There's the axolotl. It's so cute. Let me put the axolotl back into the slime. This is so great. Like, I could do this forever. Get rid of all your built up stress. It's got these little popping noises in it. Okay. Since we have so many, I can't spend too much time on each one. This one is called Lavender Cow. Everything stayed on top waiting for me to mix it in. Oh, it smells so flowery. And there is a cow. Can you see the cow in there? Sorry if my hands look a little yucky. Okay, let's scoop this one out. So there's different kinds of slime too, and they have all the different kinds. They have the cloud slime, the icy slime, butter slime, jelly slime, clay slime, micro foam slime. This one is really nice, and it's just giving off such a nice smell. I know the cow is in there somewhere. Oh, I love this one. The smell reminds me of summertime. Okay, let me put this one back. Container. You always gotta close the containers so they don't dry out. But if they do dry out, they give you instructions on how to bring it back to life very easily. And okay, we're gonna play with one more right now, and then we're gonna move into the unpopular opinions, and we'll play with some while we do the opinions as well, because why not? So this one is Sour Gummy Bears DIY Clay Kit. It comes with a number of things. It's got the slime. Oh, it smells like gummy bears. It's sparkly inside. Look at that. Okay. So you take this little cup of, I don't know exactly what to call it, and you're going to add this to the other one. popsicles and gummy bears. Then you put these guys right on top. Like they're having a meeting. And now we scoop it all out and squeeze it up into one big concoction. Okay, let's do it. Perfect. Smells so good. And none of it is falling on the floor. Seriously. Oh, look at this. Here's a gummy bear. So the giant gummy bears, they melted into the slime. Okay. It is so pretty. And it is so much fun. And it is a really nice quantity. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do? I am gonna start doing the unpopular opinions, and I'm gonna play with the slime and show you the other ones as we go. But I do want to say thank you once again to Peachy Babies for this amazing slime that they have sent. And I want to remind you to click the link down below, check it out. Use the code MyASMR. You can get 1 free slime when you buy 3. You have to put all 4 into your cart. Then put in the promo code MyASMR and you will get 1 of them free. So let's go ahead and get to the opinions. I'm gonna take a piece of gum and I'm gonna put this down. Okay, so I am gonna be chewing this piece of Trident. I will be referring to my iPad, which is right in front of me. And I am reading these unpopular opinions off of Reddit, and I will respond to them with my opinion. And I'm going to be playing with the de-stress dough while I read the first one. maybe even good for the environment. Not on concrete, of course. And if not, animals like birds can munch on them. I think it does more good on grass than rotting in a trash bag on a landfill. Bones are questionable to me, and absolute heck no to plastics and actual trash. Same with liquids. I'm comfortable pouring out an old water juice bottle on a tree, but that bottle is in the bin, that's all. Okay. Let me switch slime. This one is alien axolotl jelly. It smells like apple. And you could see like some creatures and stuff in there, right there. Look at that. Came out perfectly. Alright, so what do I think of throwing out an apple core or something biodegradable, like littering it? I get what the person is saying. You know, that it's going to, degrade itself, It's not going to stay there for 1,000 years like a plastic bottle, but isn't it kind of messy to just throw things like that around? Even on the grass. Would you want people to throw out their apple cores on your grass or dump out their juice on your grass? I would not. It will attract bugs, which may not be something that you want. And it's just not a good look. So I say no. There are certain places where it's probably okay, but in most like public type areas, no. Alright, let's see. Somebody said, I don't know, I walked past this banana peel for like 6 months. Someone answered them and said, lucky you weren't driving a go-kart, LOL. You could have slipped. Someone said, I threw a banana peel out a window and did not think about it. Later that day, I met a girl who slipped on a banana peel outside the building. It was my banana peel. What are the odds of a person actually slipping on a banana and then actually meeting the random person later that day? Alright, everyone's just making fun of this. Alright, here's a more serious one, maybe. Yeah, I agree with the OP with something like apple cores, but banana peels, orange peels, and even things like watermelon rinds take a long time to biodegrade and should either be put in a composter or just thrown in the trash, not outside. What do you think? Okay, let's go to another one. Classic rock is not a sliding scale. Classic rock is an era of music, it's not a sliding scale. 90s alt rock doesn't become classic rock, just as classic rock doesn't become doo-wop or oldies or big band. 90s grunge, alt rock, pop rock, classic rock, mid-60s to early 80s. Okay, so what they're saying is that classic rock is a specific genre and it doesn't change even as the years pass. Classic rock will always just be mid-60s to early 80s. Alright, let me pick up a new slime and read the reactions. I'm gonna do the baby axolotl one. I like those crunchy sounds. Alright, so I'll just say that I agree with this person. Classic rock is classic rock. It doesn't change. Someone said classic rock isn't a real genre, it's a radio tagline. Nah, I don't think so. Someone else said it's not a genre, but it's a radio format. The term classic rock station refers to a radio station that plays a certain type of music, namely popular rock music, from the album era of the 60s to the 90s. Someone said classic rock wasn't called that while it was going on. When did it become classic? Maybe it's just all in relation to you. What do you guys think? It's not really that serious, you know? Alright. How about this? This is a much more serious topic. Flaming hot chips are gross. Every single chip with a flaming hot flavor just tastes like red 40 cancer dust. There is no actual flavor. Even though they're slightly spicy, it's not a flavorful spicy. It just tastes like pure capsaicin. Especially with the cultural obsession of hot Cheetos, one would expect hot Cheetos to have some type of spicy cheese flavor. But no, completely removed the cheese from Cheetos and replaced it with red dye and flavorless hot dust, and boom. Somehow you've created a radioactive and almost completely inedible snack that millions of people go bonkers for. Edit, I shouldn't have said cancer dust, as I am not trying to purport any false statistics. Only said it to emphasize how the only flavor present in hot Cheetos is these artificial chemical extracts that deliver no flavor, just a spicy sensation. Okay. I disagree. I mean, the first line is flaming hot chips are gross. Okay, that's not true. And it's also not true to say that they don't have any flavor other than hot. I mean, there certainly are some that I would say that is true about. But not every single one. Like, for example, hot Cheetos, they taste like Cheetos. They do. But they're super hot. And I prefer the non-hot ones, to be honest. But it's not that I think the flavor is gross. Of the hot ones, they're just too hot for me. So I'm not a person that enjoys things to be super hot, but yet it doesn't mean I think they're gross. I just say, oh, it's a shame it's too hot. I would really love this if it weren't so hot. So I disagree. But I do agree there are some products that, you know, like the super duper duper hot ones that oftentimes are just hot with no kind of flavor. It's just some crazy level of hot. So that you can challenge yourself to eat it. Alright, let me see what other people said in the responses. Okay, someone said they're not spicy to me, so I actually can taste the flavor. this, surprisingly, a ton of people like sleeping while it rains. But let me explain. I, myself, too, likes to listen to stuff that helps me sleep. But there is a line if it's too loud. Nearby construction, people that snore. And for my topic, rain, look how pretty that is. It might get you that extra coziness with that crisp, cold air, but can you keep awake at any time with loud, annoying sounds that keep on pouring? One simple explanation: too loud. Okay, I think none of us would say that they like it when there are those huge booming claps of thunder while you're trying to sleep. I don't think that's people's point when they say they like sleeping with the sound of the rain. Like, distant sounds of thunder are okay, but you know, the kind that wakes you from sleep, no. So, let's see what the people say. Someone said, I like cloudy days, but only because my apartment has huge floor-to-ceiling windows in my living room and it's west-facing, so when the sun shines, it is extremely unbearable. What does that have to do with anything? Okay, someone said you might just have very poor insulation in your roof. Maybe. Maybe they have a tin roof. Someone said, I just hate being suddenly awakened by super loud thunder. That startles me. I like loud thunder and rain otherwise, though. I know I'm not alone in liking the, quote, I'm safe and dry inside while it rains outside either. Yeah. Oh, someone said, do you live in a tin roof shack by any chance? Someone said rain is also a hit or miss for me. Where I live now, the rain is fine for me, except a vertical rain gutter just outside my room. Drops of water hit the bottom part on the ground. It's loud because it's thin, hollow metal. So I put a folded towel over it to muffle the sound. Okay. Enough of that. Alright, here is a more serious one, I think. You never know how they're gonna end, though. You don't owe your parents anything. The tradition of owing your parents is a toxic one that needs to end. They brought you here, they created you, you didn't have a choice in the matter. They owe you everything they can reasonably give you. Of course, this doesn't mean that you can't appreciate your parents or what they have provided to you, but again, you don't owe them. That is all. Okay? Yeah, I mean, you don't owe them. Like, that's the wrong word, I guess. And my daughter would definitely be on this one, because whenever I say anything, you know, like, I have to spend this or I have to spend that, and she's like, you decided to have me. Like, no matter what it is, like, you have to pay that because you wanted to have me. You gave birth to me. Like, but you're 21 right now. Like, how long can you keep saying that to me when I have to pay for things? Okay, let's see what people say. Sure, I don't owe them anything. I'm still going to give back all the care and love they gave me, though, unconditionally, like they did for me. Okay. Man, I didn't even have great parents, but they kept me alive, healthy, and relatively comfortable when I wouldn't have been able to myself. That means I at least owe them the favor, owe them a return of the favor when they need me. Someone said that's the point. You don't owe them that. They owed you that for forcing you to exist. Look, if you're happy to exist, which most of us are, then that is the wrong way to look at it. They didn't force you to. I mean, yeah, you had no choice, but they did a great thing by bringing you into the world, right? Most of us would be happy about that. Here's the thing. Here's how I see it. It's all about words. That's all. relationship at all with their parents. The funny thing about unconditional love is that there are certain conditions under which no rational person could ever continue to love someone. Some forms of abuse are so evil that it really just isn't possible to continue loving someone through. Yes, okay. That's why I'm saying if your parents were toxic, you're on a different page. If your parents were reasonably good parents, then you don't owe them anything, but you should at least be appreciative of what they have done for you. Let's move on. Okay, I'm back with the lavender cow slime. This one is moving isn't that bad. Everyone always complains about how hard moving is, but honestly, I think it's really not that hard. If you just compartmentalize everything and give yourself more than a single day to do everything, it's pretty manageable. I've moved 7 times in the last 7 years, and I don't dread the thought of that at all. Okay, well, I don't know how big the place was that this person moved from, but did they say? No. They could have moved from a 1-room apartment or a 1-bedroom apartment or whatever, a small place. You can't make a general statement. I have moved from all different scenarios. I have moved out of a dorm room many, many, many times. In and out, in and out, in and out, right? You keep moving back and forth out of your dorm. I have moved in and out of a small apartment several times. Also not too terrible. Not something I love to do, but not too bad. But when you move from a full-blown house, it is stressful. It is something that once you finish doing it, you lay down on the couch or bed or whatever's been set up at that point in your new place, and you say, I am never doing this again. You probably will, but you say you never will. It's so much work. There is so much involved. The packing, the mail forwarding, changing your credit card addresses, and just a gazillion things. A gazillion. Plus, if you had to clean the new place before you moved into it or redecorate. Let's just see what some people said. Moving in your 20s from apartment to apartment, not too bad. Moving a family in a 2+ bedroom house with multiple kids, whole different ball game. Yup. The later scenario is what is dreaded. Someone said, as a former mover, this 100%. Okay, so there's someone who agrees. Someone said, first move is awful because of the stress of leaving home and doing everything for the first time. There's complicated emotions bubbling under the surface, complicating everything. Moving after that isn't so bad. You're not as attached to your new home, and you often have less stuff to actually move, and it's more organized because you're skimping out on movers? Is paying movers dependent on time or distance? Would you empty out heavier furniture to expedite the process? Okay, somebody else said local move, sure, cross country, shipping your stuff, car, and traveling with pets, kids, dot, dot, dot. Someone else said, I love the idea of moving, very nice, the actual act of it, however, not so much. Okay. Let's do one more. Okay, I am gonna play with the hamburger squishy while I do this one. Amicable breakups are the most painful. I think this will be an unfavorable one. I fully agree that breakups involving cheating or abuse are emotionally devastating and have no wish to diminish that. However, breakups due to external circumstances or irreconcilable differences in which the love remains are a unique agony that lingers for years, if not a lifetime. That is complicated. So they're saying, if you break up because your partner cheated on you, or because they were abusive, that is easier to get over than if you broke up for something else, like you just can't get along. And you still love each other, and you love each other forever. How do you get over that? Well, they're very different scenarios. But, I mean, if somebody was abusive to you, that could be a pain that remains your entire life. Like a severe pain. It really depends on how abusive they were. You know, was it severe abuse that you're not gonna forget it? It's gonna hurt you forever, right? And if you were cheated on, it would also depend, were you dating for a week? Were you dating for a year? Were you married? You know, did you have kids? Like, cheating could also be something that you can't get over. But if you were dating and you loved each other, but you had to break up because it wasn't working out, but you still love each other, I mean, that's rough. But it seems like that's something that the two of you sat down and talked it through, and you decided that you had to break up for, you know, the good of things, even though you loved it. I don't know. It's all bad. Breaking up is hard all the time, and it depends on the specific situation in each case. Like, I don't think you can generalize, but let's see what people say. Makes sense in a way. At least in a bitter breakup, you can blame someone. In an amicable one, you have no one to blame, just an emptiness. But does blaming someone make it that much better? Not always. Someone said under that, this is it for me. I was able to move on much more easily from a bad relationship, knowing I deserved better, and was better off without the person who hurt me. Amicable endings have a way of settling in your soul. You can't sweep them away with the same logic. But couldn't it just be like a good memory? You know, like, we loved each other so much. I still kind of love that person. It was so nice, you know. But I moved on, you know. I don't know. Like some kind of romantic love you in return, yet